What a night in the Women's Champions League for Manchester City, who kicked off their tournament with a 2-0 victory against the reigning champions Barcelona. The former Chelsea academy coach and Netherlands head coach Mark Parsons watched that one for us. Quick turn. I don't know whether you slept in the studio, but you're back in here and ready to analyse that and look ahead to the weekend's games. But I think the phrase that you used yesterday about that performance from Manchester City was that they Barcelona'd Barcelona.
Yeah, I couldn't sleep because it was an exciting night of football, but especially this game. And when I rolled that off the tongue, what was sticking out to me was Viv Miedema, Jess Park and Yui Hasegawa in the midfield were playing up against Patry, Putellas, who was rolling inside, Bonmati, Ballon d'Or winner, and also Kira Walsh, who's one of the best in the world. So they were playing against those four central. Man City dominated this game with and without the ball, but especially in the midfield. And you don't see anyone do that to Barcelona. That's their identity. Really, really pleased to see Gareth, his team, and this group of players show their identity on the biggest stage, and it set them up for a great Champions League campaign.
I guess it rarely happens, and I'm sure he will still not say this is the case, but Gareth Taylor might think, we nailed it. That was not quite perfect, but pretty darn close to perfect from my team last night.
I would say you're not going to get much closer. You know, analysing his team and what he wants and the players he continues to bring in to complement his game model, you know, they absolutely achieved everything, especially off the ball. I've been a little bit critical of them so far in defending. They created, you know, probably the second or third most chances. And I know that came from the Arsenal WSL game, the first game of the season, but they conceded a lot of chances in their defending. Last night's pressing, aggression and bravery to win the ball back exactly where you would want to in central high areas to get at Barca was impressive. And then you have to take care of the ball against Barcelona, otherwise they're coming back, and they did that. The last 20 minutes, Barcelona got into the game, but 60, 70 minutes for Man City were fantastic.
From a manager's perspective, how much would you worry that the weekend away at Liverpool feels a little bit after the Lord Mayor show, or can it not? If you want to be champions and you want to compete in Europe as well, that you have to approach Liverpool the same way you approached Barcelona last night?
The good thing is Liverpool are an opponent, Matt Beard's side. They will be there ready to come straight at you and bring you back down to earth. That helps you because the players will know that as well. We cannot take this game lightly. It's about balance for me. You know, how do you stay focused on all the positive momentum? When things are going hard and difficult, how do you get everyone going the right way? They're going the right way. The players are feeling it. They know. Smart, intelligent players know when things are going well. But you have to obviously stay balanced with, here's Liverpool's threats. They're a completely different side to Barca. They're going to be very aggressive in your face. Sometimes short passing, sometimes direct. Set pieces will be big. But Gareth and Man City have faced this type of opponent and found ways to continue to be successful.
Just on the psychology as well of Manchester City and having come so close to the title last season, you wonder whether, particularly a night like this, is big, that you think, well, that resets everything. If there was just a slight hangover of last season, that now it is right out of our system.
Of all the people I had a conversation with, how will City do after that? The majority was they got so close, they'll be more motivated than ever. I've been in there a few times. That's always been the reaction, that players and staff will go that way. But I also was curious that they were so close with multiple trophies. And for me, it came down to the start. They've had a very positive start. This is probably the best night in the club's history, especially in European football. This helps everything and helps reinforce that they were on the right path last year. And they've got to continue to commit to this with their new additions they've brought in.
As good a night as it was for Manchester City, it was equally, I suppose you'd say, a bad night for Arsenal.
Yeah, I think it's important to be balanced here. Arsenal in the first half were excellent. Going away to Bayern Munich haven't lost at home, I think, 18 months. They scored last season in the German league over 80 goals, conceded under 10, I think 8 or 9 goals. Their record's been incredible. It was going to be a tough night. I also didn't like the tactical matchup for Arsenal. Arsenal, when they build, they leave themselves quite open, and Bayern Munich goals, 50-60% of their goals come from counter-attacks. First half, Arsenal were excellent, missed big chances, which has been a theme this season. And second half, Bayern came out and what I thought could happen, absolutely ripped them apart, and Arsenal didn't slow the game down and get back the control they had in the first half.
So just on that tactical matchup, I'm interested because we've heard a lot this season already about coaches have an identity and they play the way they want to play and they don't really change it. So was that from your perspective as a coach last night, thinking you've got to tweak it slightly because of who you're playing in Bayern Munich in terms of how far you push up?
Yeah, I think that when you see Arsenal, the there are clear things that they're trying to achieve, and that doesn't. The big things don't change per game, but of course there's been details. This is a strange comment. The best rest defence I've seen Arsenal have was against Rangers in qualifying, which is probably the game they didn't need to have great rest defence. What worried me in the first half, even when they were dominating, their build-up, Zinsberger was coming in as a right centre-back, which can happen low. Leah Williamson was pushing wide to get Emily Fox higher. And that meant that Codina and Williamson, the distance was huge. Zinsberger's there, but when you lose the ball, she's got to get back. That's normal when you're around the 18-yard box. The height of that shape was getting closer to the halfway line against Bayern Munich, who, when they win the ball, they go, not just with quality, but with numbers. It didn't punish them in the first half. Second half, they got crucified.
It's interesting as well, we talk about the manager, and you just said there that one of the common themes for Arsenal this season has not been ruthless enough. I think they felt it was the case against Häcken in the first leg of their playoff, against City in the league, again last night. For Jonas Eideveld, the pressure might come on him, but he might say, well, I've done as much as I can tactically, and if you can't finish the chances, there's not a huge amount I as a coach can do about that.
Yeah, I would split it into two areas. There's been games where you're playing a big opponent. I think of Man United at home last year, Chelsea at home last year, Man City at home, where there's a lot of space on the pitch and the opponent's going to come at you and leave space. That suited Arsenal. What I don't think has suited Arsenal, and they haven't figured out, is when the opponent's going to be tight, compact, hard to break down, like Everton, like Leicester in WSL so far this year. How are they going to score their goals, create chances? When I look at City, they know how they're going to create the goals in all types of games. This game against Chelsea coming up, I think suits Arsenal. I didn't like the Bayern Munich matchup. If the psychological impact of last night can be managed, if you can narrow the focus on the strengths of Arsenal Football Club, I like the matchup against Chelsea, and I think this could be a good and important bounce back for them quickly.
What have you made of the early stages of Sonia Bompastor then as Chelsea's new head coach?
Interesting. I watched them live in pre-season. I loved what they looked like. You know, it takes a long time for a brand new coach to come in, especially after someone like Emma Hayes. I really liked what they looked like. Probably because they were very similar to how Emma played and they hadn't changed much. The start hasn't been as convincing. I think Sonia, who's a winner, who's a leader, who's strong and takes no nonsense, she will admit that. They haven't been good enough with the ball. What worried me in their last game against Madrid is their team defending, organised defending, often seeing Wrighton pressing alone, an individual, or bringing the energy alone, which is dangerous against good teams. Chelsea look like they're going to take a bit of time, but they have so much talent and quality. I'm sure they'll figure it out. This game at the Emirates might be coming a bit early. I think it suits Arsenal more, which is against the theme right now with results, but tactically I feel like it suits Arsenal.
A brief word on another live game then this weekend, Manchester United against Tottenham. How do you see that?
Yeah, this is an important test for Man United, probably their first test. You know, Tottenham will be disappointed about their last game. They need to bounce back. I've loved how Tottenham have created the attack, built the attacks with different solutions to get the free player. Naz and Rasso on the wings have created problems for them. This is, for me, the game to watch this weekend. I'm curious, I'm intrigued that these two teams are playing each other. They're playing quality teams that are going to be fighting for number 4, 5 and 6. This is the game I'm tuning into, and I'm looking forward to seeing how both coaches and teams attack it.
Mark, thank you very much indeed for being with us. You've done my job for me effectively. Mark's curious, he's intrigued, he's looking forward to watching it, and you can too. At 11:30 Sunday morning for Manchester United against Tottenham, and that is followed by Liverpool against Manchester City, 2:30 Sky Sports Premier League.